Yeah.
in much time.
Let's go to the mailbag again. We did the mailbag last week. Let's do it again where the questions are real, but the names and locations are fake. Great news, guys. Hector from Tucson is back, and he's got another question. Yeah, Hector, a big fan. He says, hey, guys, I think if Duncan really cares about the podcast, he should consider an air fryer instead of a microwave. So thank you, Hector. Duncan will look into that, as will Santa. No, that's his statement leading up to the question. Hector has opinions, Duncan. He doesn't just ask questions. Okay. Thank you, Hector. Anyways, what are some... Yes, Christmas is coming. What are some under-the-radar marketing tools or tips that you can share for small businesses? So Hector does bring up a very good question. Looking ahead as we near the end of 2023, looking ahead to 2024, what's something small or something people could think about with their small business moving forward? I'll start because I never start. So I'm going to start this one because I can, because I'm the host. For me, I think a lot of businesses are on YouTube in some capacity, but maybe don't fully understand everything you can do on there. And the one thing I think that gets overlooked often are YouTube Shorts. So YouTube Shorts are essentially shorter videos under a minute long. They would resemble an Instagram reel or a TikTok, a vertical video that YouTube has built into their system. And they do bring in a lot of attention. And I think a lot of businesses, although they might have that YouTube channel, they might post there once a year. Whenever they finally make a video, they put it up, not really realizing the power of YouTube Shorts. So I would say, as the one tip I have for a small business, you're probably on YouTube already. Investigate a little bit more what other things it can bring to the table. And if you do have some shorter videos, maybe you've been making some reels on Instagram, it's easy to move them over and add them to Shorts as well. You already have the channel in place. It's just a matter of taking and repurposing content you already have and moving them over to Shorts. I know in doing what we're doing now, we're on episode number 4. We've been doing all sorts of experimenting with how we can repurpose the content we create when we do this. And I think overall, Shorts has probably brought in as many views, if not a little bit more, than what we see across Instagram, for example, or even LinkedIn. Something to look at as you move forward for next year. Don't sleep on YouTube Shorts. They show up in search. They've got a fantastic music library. They're really easy to make and post. So that would be my tip. Have a look at YouTube Shorts. Ian, why don't you go next?
Okay, thanks. I think when it comes to small businesses in particular, obviously you're going to be working with pretty limited funds. So a strong thing to think about is how you're going to best utilize the money that you do have access to. A lot of people might think that a website is a really necessary part to start out. But I think often it's this sort of, people assume the old adage of if you build it, they will come, to be the case. And it simply isn't. Just because you have a website doesn't mean anyone's going to find it. It may be worth, starting off small with your the places you're taking people to. Have your social set up, because you can do that for free, and set up a simple website that looks good enough to do the job, to sell the products that you want to have and sell, and then put some money into ads. I think initially when people are setting out, they perhaps fear ads. They do think they can do a lot organically, but ads are really going to be the thing that get people to your site once you've built it, and can help get you those conversions. It's better to get 100 people to your site and make 4, 5, 6 sales than get 2 people to your site and make 1 sale just by having a really beautiful website. So building that traffic to raise awareness of what it is you do, what it is you offer, and hopefully make those conversions.
More on the content and ad side, less on the website side. You can always build a larger website, absolutely. Expand on your website in the future.
You can have a great website without it being all singing, all dancing, all the bells and whistles. It can be fairly simple, but if you've got some nice images on there, you've got some good content on there, then you're off to a great start.
Unless your business is selling singing and dancing lessons, then you need singing and dancing.
You need all singing and all dancing.
That's another quick tip.
Yeah.
Duncan, what about you? Small businesses, what's something easy, maybe something underrated, under the radar? What kind of tip can you provide them?
Well, I mean, I'll just start by echoing Ian's point a little bit here and just saying that, a simple search campaign for a very narrow set of keywords is a cheap and easy way to get pretty qualified traffic to your site. I mean, again, it doesn't have to have all the bells and whistles. It just has to get the main information across. Now, that's probably the easiest way because, I mean, if you think of a new business, you don't have a lot of SEO clout. Your website maybe has been around for 3 days. So, like, how do you start getting the traffic? And there's no way really to get found on Google organically in the first week because Google has to go and index your site, et cetera, and look at your content. And generally, you won't have a lot of content with a new website. So really, the only way to really get noticed is run a search ad so that you can immediately show up on that first page of Google and get some traffic to your site. Now, one thing my point that I was going to add to this, Google Search Console, it's a free tool. You type in Google Search Console, you'll find it. And it allows you to see the organic traffic that your site's getting, but it also allows you to send your website to Google to get it indexed. So you kind of like speed up that process a little bit. And they just did an overhaul of it. They didn't really announce anything. I was in there just last week, and you can get like year-over-year data when it comes to your organic SEO. You get the keywords that you're showing up for. And they have a really cool reporting system that never used to exist. It used to always be like a 2-month or 3-month window and you couldn't look back. Now, once you get that on your site, you have data for years moving forward. And it's really fun to compare. You can look at your overall search engine optimization picture. And I think for a small business starting out, that is a huge and valuable tool that you can't get anywhere else for free. I mean, Google Analytics hides all that information, but Google Search Console gives it to you on a platter. And highly recommend it for new businesses because you learn a lot about that organic footprint that you're creating.
Yeah. It'll show you errors if Google's not liking something on your website. It's not indexing all the pages. It's like the ultimate tool to see whether or not Google likes you, and then it'll tell you how to improve. Mm-hmm. It's like the Google friendship tool. Does it like you? Does it not like you? Here's some tips to improve. Some really good tips, guys.
If it absolutely hates you, it'll let you know. It'll say you.
It will. Hopefully people never get to that point, but you never know.
Something else touching on there, I guess, is getting into testing fairly early as well might be worth considering. It seems like, it can seem very daunting when you first start out to think about things like that. But if you run 2 different ads trying to sell the same thing and one performs better than the other, then that's great information. You know that that's the kind of pathway that you want to go down for future ads when you're selling either that product or similar products, and that seems to be performing better for you, making those sales and getting that extra money in your bank when you most need it right at the start.
No, for sure. You know what? Kind of to everybody's point, the big thing is start small. You can always expand out later. If you try to do too much coming out of the gate, you're going to feel overwhelmed. Not to mention, as a small business owner, you actually have to run the business. That's the other side of things, because obviously if that's not happening, it doesn't really matter. But yeah, I think Google Search Console is a fantastic tool. Like Duncan said, completely free. Starting your website small, expanding out from there, giving advertising a try. Maybe you've done some ads in the past and you didn't feel you got the value, or something went wrong. Don't let that deter you from trying it again. I think in the long run, you'll see positive results.